Have you ever settled into a comfy chair, brewed a warm cup of tea, and cracked open a brand new book, only to find that your cat suddenly becomes the star of the show? If you're a cat owner and a book lover, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time I start reading a new book, my cat transforms from a sleepy loaf into a mischievous little gremlin who simply refuses to let me enjoy my quiet reading time in peace. But why do our feline friends do this? Today, I'm going to share the hilarious, sometimes annoying, but ultimately heartwarming story of what my cat does whenever I start reading and the hidden meanings behind it. The moment I pick up a new book, my cat's sixth sense seems to kick in. He could be napping on the other side of the house, completely unaware of the world around him. But as soon as I open those pages, he magically appears, like a furry phantom summoned by an invisible bell. I used to think it was just coincidence, but after countless books and endless interruptions, I realized this is no accident. It's a deliberate mission. At first, he acts innocent. He jumps onto my lap as if he's just come to snuggle. His big round eyes look up at me, melting my heart instantly. I think, oh, he just wants some love. But then, slowly and methodically, he inches closer to my book. Before I know it, his paw is on the page, blocking the sentence I'm reading. Then comes the headbutt, the classic feline move that says, "Hey, look at me, not that boring stack of paper." If I gently move him aside and continue reading, he escalates. He starts kneading the book cover, sometimes even trying to nibble the corner. The next phase? The full flop. He collapses directly onto the open pages, stretching his body as long as possible so that no word remains visible. At this point, the book is no longer mine. It has become his new personal bed. It's almost like he believes the book is a rival for my attention. Cats, despite their reputation for being aloof, are actually masters at claiming the spotlight whenever they feel ignored. The moment I focus on something else, especially something as immersive as a book, he decides to intervene. And he does it with such finesse that I can't help but laugh. Sometimes, if I persist in trying to read, he starts tapping my face with his paw. Those gentle little taps are surprisingly effective. It's his way of saying, "Excuse me, human, I'm right here. Why are you obsessed with that rectangle of paper when you have a fluffy prince in front of you?" And let's be honest, who can resist that kind of determined cuteness? One day, I decided to test his dedication. I placed my book on the coffee table and pretended to read it while holding it at an odd angle. Within seconds, he climbed onto the table, pushed the book off the edge, and sat triumphantly in its place, looking at me with that smug, mission-accomplished face. I burst into laughter so hard that I almost cried. I've tried reading in different spots around the house, thinking maybe it's the specific chair or the cozy blanket that attracts him, but no, he finds me every time. It doesn't matter if I'm on the sofa, in bed, at the kitchen counter, or even in the bathtub. Yes, he has tried to invade bath reading sessions too. Some people might think this behavior is just a funny quirk, but it actually speaks to something deeper about the bond between cats and their humans. Cats are highly observant creatures. They know your routines better than you do. When they see you engrossed in a book, they sense a shift in your energy. You're calm, focused, and not paying attention to them. And that simply won't do. Behaviorists say that cats interrupting your reading is a sign of affection and trust. They feel secure enough to demand your attention, and they want to be part of your world at that moment. In a way, they're saying, "I want to share this quiet time with you, but on my terms." It's both an invitation and a demand rolled into one adorable furry package. There's also the theory that cats are attracted to anything that captures your focus. Think about how many times your cat has walked across your keyboard when you're working, or sat on your puzzle when you're almost done. It's the same idea. Your focus is precious to them, and they want a piece of it. Sometimes I think about the contrast between the peaceful worlds inside my books and the chaotic little tornado that is my cat. While I'm lost in a medieval fantasy or solving a mystery, he's busy plotting his next interruption strategy. There's something incredibly heartwarming about knowing that your cat wants to be so involved in your life. While we might see it as an inconvenience, for them, it's a bonding ritual. Every paw swipe, every headbutt, every flop across the pages, it's all a love language. A very clumsy, sometimes annoying, but deeply sincere love language. When he shows up, I give him a quick cuddle and settle him in his cozy spot. Sometimes he falls asleep next to me, purring softly while I continue my book with one hand. Other times he insists on being the main event, and I give up on reading entirely, turning my attention to giving him chin scratches and listening to his contented purrs. These moments have taught me patience and presence. In our busy, screen-filled lives, we often rush through everything, even our hobbies. But cats force us to slow down, to be in the moment. He cares about me, right now, right here, and that's a beautiful reminder. But when I look down and see his big eyes staring up at me, I can't help but smile. He has a way of making me feel like the most important person in his universe, even if it means sacrificing my quiet reading time. Sometimes I think he might actually be helping me create new stories of my own. His antics are so entertaining and full of personality that they could fill a book by themselves. And I have no doubt he'll try to sit on every draft page as I write it. In the end, my cat's obsession with my reading habit has become an unexpected blessing. It has deepened our bond and given me countless stories to share. It has reminded me that the best moments in life aren't always the ones we plan, but the spontaneous, silly ones that surprise us and make us laugh. So, if you've ever struggled to finish a paragraph because your cat insists on helping, know that you're not alone. These interruptions are a sign that your cat feels safe, loved, and connected to you. And in their own mischievous way, they're creating a story with you, one paw swipe at a time. The next time you crack open a new book and your cat appears out of nowhere, try to see it through their eyes. You might be looking for an escape into another world, but to them, you are their whole world. And isn't that the most heartwarming plot twist of all?